Good morning, class. Today's topic is friend function. Now, a function is defined as a friend function. If a function is defined as a friend function of some class, then the private and protected data of that class can be accessed from that function. Now, when I'm saying that any function can be made as friend function of some class, then it means that it is not a member function of that class. It is not a member function, it is some friend function, and then this function which I have made a friend function of one class, I can make that same function friend of another class also. So whatever function I am making the friends of one or more classes, then that friend function will be able to access the private and protected members of the class. Now, we have already studied that the basic characteristics of OOPS in the beginning of this course when we have started. So, we have studied one principle known as data hiding principle. So, don't you think that this friend function is violating that data hiding principle or data hiding rule of the OOPS? Then why it came into existence? Why we have introduced this friend function? So the reason is there are certain scenarios when we are required to access the private and protected data of more than one classes. Like for example, suppose I have got employee class. Now employee can be someone working in a company, and he can be scientist, he can be a teacher, he can be any government officer, and so on. So we have got different categories of employees. Now if I want to calculate the income tax, then it had to be calculated by the slabs which have been mentioned by the income tax department. So it will be applied for all, whether he is a scientist, whether he is a government officer, whether he is a teacher, whether he is a person who is working in the company, or so on, doesn't matter. So this is one common function. I can place one common function income tax in all the classes. So it will be able to access the salary part of their of that class, and then it can calculate the income tax. So this is one practical example where we may require one function to be a friend function of more than one classes. So this is how it came into existence, and that is the need of the friend function. Now let us see the program. Okay, another property of the friend function is the declaration of friend function should be made inside the body of the class, starting with the keyword friend. Okay, so it should be friend function had to be declared inside the class, and it will be defined outside the class. This is compulsory. Member function can be declared inside the class and defined outside, and they can be declared and defined inside the class also. So this is the member function property. In the friend function, we have to compulsorily declare it inside the class, but we cannot define it inside the class because it is not a member function, it is a friend function. So we have to define it outside the class. Now here in this program, we have declared one class sample, and we have declared two variables of type A and B, which are private by default. In the public, we have declared one constructor. See, the name of the function is sample, which is a class name also. So this is a constructor, and we are using this constructor for initializing the values of A and B. So we have already defined inside the constructor A equal to 25 and B equal to 40. Now the advantage of using this constructor to initialize the values is that we don't have to specifically call any function. Whenever we declare the object of this class, then automatically the constructor will be called, and automatically the values will be initialized. So we don't have to make a specific call to any function for initializing it. Now next, we have defined one function mean. Its return type is float, and inside it the argument, we are passing one argument, and that argument is a object of type sample. So the same class in which we are defining this friend function, we are passing that class object as an argument inside this mean function. Now since this is a friend function, so we have to proceed with the keyword friend in front of the declaration. Now after that we close the brackets and we will define the this mean friend function outside the class. Here we don't require to write the friend keyword again. We simply write the return type, that is float, then the function name mean and the argument sample type of s. Now inside it we have to calculate the mean of the two variables a and b. So inside that we have written s dot a. S is the object, and this object is passed as an argument inside this function. So whenever we want to access any private or public members of this particular class, then we can access them using the object name and dot operator. Since this mean function is the friend function of this class, therefore we are able to access the private members also inside this function, right? So s dot a plus s dot b will access this a equal to 25 and b equal to 40, and then we are dividing it by 2.0. After that you can see this one keyword float. It is known as typecasting because a and b are integer variables, so we want to convert this whole value into the float or decimal value. Therefore s dot a plus s dot b, and then the float will convert it into the decimal. After that it will divide by 2.0, so answer will be in the floating or decimal portion. Now in the main we have declared one object of x of type sample. So whenever we declare this, then the constructor will be automatically called. So it means x will the object x will have the value of a equal to 25 and b equal to 40. After that we have called the function mean x. So in the mean function we have passed this x, which is the object which we have declared earlier in the main function. So this x is passed. So when this function is executed, then it will calculate the value of a and b, s dot a plus s dot b. So 25 plus 40 divided by 2, it will give the mean. So the output is mean equal to 32.5. Thank you.